Well, hello, and welcome to another strange episode of Three Crones and the Woo Woo. I am Woo Woo number one, Gayle Nicholson, your word witch, if you will, with creative commands, coaching, and consulting. And to my side, I have Ms. Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing with Krista on Facebook. And as always, supporting us from below, we have Damaris Samolinski with Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. Hi, everyone who's joining us. Hi, everyone who's joining us on the replay. This may look a little different to you. I should probably preface this by giving you a little bit of backstory before we get into how's everybody doing, where's the weather, and blah, blah, blah. My phone broke, and the app that I use to update our titles every week saves locally to that phone, and anything that comes out of it is rendered, and you can't go back and pull it apart and update, say, the week that we're in for Damaris's segment. So last night I had to recreate all of our titles, and I think they're really, really cool. So you're going to see new stuff all the way along, different music. I'm kind of missing our old beginning music, but I couldn't find it. So we'll see if I get to find it again, because this phone that they sent me is defective, and it's going to be replaced too. So next week, there'll be all new titles again. Oh my goodness. What I want all of you out there watching today is give me a little feedback. Whether you like the music, don't like the music, like the colors, don't like the colors, and so on. So please make sure to put your comments in there so that I can update stuff. I want to say hi to some of the people who've joined us so far. Allison Baker, Sue Sendin, and Ada Diaz-Pello. Thanks so much for joining us again. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Miss Krista. Hi, Miss Damaris. How are you today?
Good. How are you? We heard how your week has been.
Yeah. Maniacal laughter. Yeah.
We need to get sound effects, right? Maniacal laughter being one of them.
That app that I use, it's got that little woodchuck gopher dude that's like standing in the middle of the Swiss Alps and just screaming to hear the echo. I'm like, oh, I could put that to use.
Well, I'm so happy and appreciative that you're the one that has to deal with all that stuff.
Better me than you.
Me too.
Oh, that's so awesome.
But it's okay because we all now have our own technical stuff that we're all doing.
Yes.
So
yeah. Y'all are to work now. Snap, snap.
Snap, snap. That's
Snap,
right.
snap.
That's right. I am. So something I was going to say that you guys will be seeing, I was working on this right before we went on, is I am setting us up a patron account. Which is a place where people can generously donate money for Three Crones and the Woo Woo. And we're going to have some options and things that everything's going to be simple to begin with, because it's what we can do today.
Right.
It's what we can do today. However, we do have really big plans for broadening, some options for people, that you can contribute and donate money, and then, get added time with us. Who wants to get behind the scenes? Ooh. Seriously. We're working on trying to do that.
Some of the stuff we talk about behind the scenes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's fun. We have fun.
Yeah. And some of it's not fit for public broadcasting.
Gayle says no.
Men in black suits at the door. Excuse me, ma'am. May I have a moment?
You should talk about men in black.
Yeah. Pay no attention to the shiny pen.
So yeah, I want you guys to know, so things will be changing and different opportunities. We got a little bit delayed and sidetracked because last week I was out of town, and if you look behind me, I'm not at home again. I'm somewhere else.
You should be a traveling crone.
I am
You are for now. You're not. You're not going to be the only one.
No,
yes.
Gail's going to do it too. It's just, I'm the traveling crystal crown.
Yes.
There you
Because
go. There you go.
Yes.
I'm all about the crystals.
I've
So yeah,
actually
I am in Belgium today. I was in Belgium last week, except where I was had zero internet service. It was an amazing historical building, and we were talking a little bit about it. But we're in an apartment, and it's actually an old building too. I don't know how old, 1800-ish.
Wow.
I would guess. Yeah, but it has Wi-Fi, so I can be here.
I'm so happy that you guys are both committed, because I'm always the one at home. You guys, sometimes you travel as well, and you guys are always committed. So I really love that. You know, no matter where you are, you have your laptop.
If we aren't, we should be.
True.
Yes.
I've been fantasizing quite a bit in my head about the whole like traveling Crones thing. Hey, Tracy just showed up. Yay, the party can start now.
Yep, Tracy's here. Throw the confetti.
Yes.
Glitter bomb. Of like what wrapping my 4x6 trailer that I brought up here with this beautiful color scheme that we've got going, and 3 Crones in the woo-woo, and then inside of it actually having my little broadcast studio so I can go to these different crystal festivals and Renaissance fairs and stuff and do the show from these events.
That would be fantastic.
Right?
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it be amazing? So
it would be.
It would. And I can make it happen. I'm talking with an investor who might be able to hook us up with solar panels and stuff.
Nice.
So, and between the hotspot technology from Verizon and cross your fingers someday Starlink, because it's expensive. We could be Crones from anywhere. Anyway,
that would be amazing.
And eventually, when we get our turtle, Kevin is not aware, but the turtle's going to have 3 Crones in the woo-woo on it.
We will
be traveling.
I love that. That's awesome. I feel like I've made a huge breakthrough, because in 1 week I've gone from being able to stick a sticker on my coffee mug to I want to shrink wrap my trailer.
That's a huge leap.
It is.
Yes.
It is. Yeah, I'll tell you. No, it's an awesome thing. I was joking with Kevin because we went. His Defender it's a Land Rover. In any case, and we went to a Defender
gathering of Defenders last
Yes,
week?
we did. We went to a gathering of Defenders, an impromptu thing the other day. And I joked around with Kevin. I'm like, we need to shrink. We need to get a big 3 Crones in the woo-woo sticker and put it on this.
Yes.
And he's looking at me. He goes, but it was driven by the Army. I'm like, which would make it even better.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I almost called you this week to see if we could get like this sticker blown up into it, like a 2x3 door clings that I can just put on the door of my car.
Yes, we can. And I am hearing you, Gayle. And actually, I want to get it and put it on my car. And I figure Damaris does too, whether or not she knows it.
I'll do it.
And I think I can get Sue Paquin from Class Act Imports probably to add something somewhere on her vehicle, because she loves to support us so much.
She does.
And so, yeah, it's in any case, if you guys think that a cling, I don't know if it'll be huge. I haven't quite figured out the size.
The size of a medium pizza, 12-inch round.
Yeah, I'll look at that and see what's possible. But if anybody thinks, I also want to get the smaller ones for on the car windows. And
they have also magnets, right? They have magnets you could stick on.
The
magnet
is just a piece of plastic magnet and it's printed on.
Yeah. And you want to be careful having magnets on your cars. We've done it in the past with other things because it will scratch the paint and it takes the protective coat off, and we don't want to be doing it. I'm a car person. You don't want to be doing.
You You got to
But I
protect
see
your top
people
coat.
with those magnet things, you know, like advertising their business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Just like that. Or we could go with the thing on the back window that you can't see into the car, but you can see out of the car.
Oh yeah. Wouldn't that be super cool? Yeah, I can't do that here. They don't do that in Europe, but but
I mean,
yeah,
Detroit,
I can.
they do that all over the damn place.
There you go. There you go. You know, work for where you're at.
Advertise ourselves, you know.
That's it. That's it. Well, Seacrest, Ryan Seacrest, he started off as a DJ. A lot of people don't know this, right? He actually paid for advertising himself, right, from the beginning, which is what got his following and everything else. And before he knew it, you know what? He's now, or he was, a co-host of wasn't it
American Idol,
right?
ABC's Rockin' New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I mean,
all kinds
pretty
of
much
stuff.
everything. He became the love child of
American Idol,
Dick Clark and Casey Kasem. You know,
he really did.
Kasem and Dick Clark's love child.
Now he has his own clothing line and everything. I've seen his clothing line in like Macy's.
Oh, fantastic. How awesome would it be if we had our own clothing line? That would be something interesting to dream of.
It would. I love it. Yes. Alrighty. So
all right.
We're ready?
I think so. Give me one second.
I'm anxious to see what you created.
Kelly and Ryan. Oh yeah, those.
Oh yeah, Kelly and Ryan. Yeah. That was what I was thinking of.
Was it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right, Miss Damaris, are you ready for your new reveal?
Yes, I am. Let's see.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
I like it. Galactic empowerment. I love it. I love it. I love that. All right. So this week, I'm going to talk about something that I haven't spoken about ever yet on the podcast. So we have on Friday is April 1st. So we have the new moon on Friday, but we also have this energy with the Chiron energy. And I want to talk a little bit about Chiron because I never really spoke about it on the show. It's really awesome, I feel. So Chiron was discovered in 1977. The glyph is like half horse and the head is like a human head for Chiron. So Chiron is the wounded healer. So Chiron goes, he was feeling wounded and he went on this search to find relief. And in the process, what he found was many faucets of healing arts. So there's many faucets of healing arts. As you guys know, we're all in, spirituality and healing. Mm-hmm. And so it has to do with sort of like uncovering all our deepest wounds from the past, uncovering them and sort of like going through that pain, sometimes reliving those things that we've been through, because sometimes it's painful. I remember I was writing a story about my mom and just writing it was making me relive some of the pain that I went through, with her death. So sometimes we have to go through that pain all over again to feel it all over again in order for it to be healed.
Right.
And so that's what Chiron is all about, is uncovering your past wounds and sort of like, going through that pain and healing that so that you can become the wounded healer, right? So that you can then help other people, with whatever they're going through. I always feel like we have to go through that process in order for us to be able to help other people. It's just like, an alcoholic, and then that person becomes like, a counselor. Mm-hmm. They have to be the alcoholic and they have to know what the alcoholic goes through in order to help them. You know what I mean? So that's what
actually, I want to mention something about that, because having been in 12-step recovery years ago, right? Mm-hmm. What you say is true, but I don't want people to get the wrong impression from it too.
Okay.
Because when I used to work at a treatment center, And when people would come in the door, they would ask, is my counselor a recovering alcoholic or recovering addict? Do they go to meetings? Do they have a sponsor? And inevitably, they would be much more relieved in their facial expressions when you went, yes, everybody who works here has dealt with their own demons so that they can help you. Because alcoholics don't trust somebody who doesn't get that frame of reference. And I think that support system type thing, whether it's in cancer recovery, whether it's in divorce or grief, widowhood recovery, it takes somebody who has walked that path and found their way out of the woods to lead another person out of the woods.
And that's exactly right. And I would feel, for example, when I was going through my bereavement process, I wanted someone that had experienced a death in order for them to help me, otherwise.
And the death of a mother is distinct among, losses that you can suffer.
Yeah. And so what happens is when we do not work through these wounds, we become dumbed down, and we block ourselves from being present. And so, a lot of people don't want to go through that tunnel. I call it a tunnel, that dark tunnel, to relive sometimes those experiences. But then they're dumbed down, they're numbed down, and they're not present. They're living in the past and feeling hurt. And so sooner or later, we have to do that work. We have to. I know some people that don't want to. I particularly know a person that said to me, right out and said to me, I don't want to go through that pain again. So they don't want to go through it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yikes. And then I wonder from a spiritual perspective, because I always think about that part, I wonder if they don't heal it, will they have to come back in another life to balance that? Because I know whatever imbalances we have, you have to balance it in this life or the next. And so it's too painful, in my personal opinion, to keep going through that lifetime after lifetime. That's what I say. Yeah. So for me,
and you didn't want to feel that pain the first time you felt it. So one really is irrelevant.
Exactly.
And the other aspect that I think we all forget is the pain. If you're going to try to avoid the pain's just going to keep compounding. It doesn't, you can only numb so far.
Yeah.
Right. And it comes out sideways.
It also affects, it affects your physical body, because the mind and the body connection is going to somehow create some disease somewhere in your body. And that pain is teaching you that there's something you need to work on. And so we're going to go through pain emotionally and physically, in my opinion, if we don't resolve the original wounds. Because the psychosomatic kind of connection, it's always going to show up in your body as a manifestation of the imbalance in the emotional body and in the mental body and the spiritual body. I feel.
Well, that's exactly in alignment with the work that I do with EFT and post-traumatic stress. Because you're 100% accurate. When a trauma happens, if we don't process it, then it gets stored in our body somewhere, and it causes 100%. A block in the energy flow, which then causes the cells to stagnate and turn on themselves, if you will. And it's the root of all of these long-term terminal diseases that we develop over time. And because, we like to look at things with instant gratification, we don't recognize it because it takes 10 years to develop breast cancer. It takes,
and we don't make the connection too. People do not make the connection, which is, I think, the saddest part. When they don't recognize that this cancer showed up because I didn't resolve this issue. They don't make the connection. And then,
it's like putting a drop of lead in a fishbowl every single day.
Absolutely.
The fish doesn't realize that they're losing their minds, but they do.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. And so, just really quick before I move on to the number, which has to do with the Chiron energy. When my mother passed away and I was a little girl, my initial reaction when I heard the news was, how am I going to survive without my mother? So what that did was bring that trauma right to my root chakra, because that is the survival
center.
the survival energy. So that's where it got lodged. And so I had a lot of issues growing up physically, with everything that's surrounding my root chakra, but I didn't know at the time. And so the chakras are also very important to understand, because they're the ones that are the energy holder. They hold the energy of the trauma. So however you reacted, each chakra has sort of like an emotion and a thought connected to it. So however you reacted to the trauma, that's where you're going to find the trauma in that particular chakra. And so
there was a really cool experiment that we did at one point. Doreen Virtue, persona non grata to a lot of people. I apologize, but whatever. Her life is her choices.
I loved her.
I loved her too. I still use her deck.
Yeah.
And you mentioned her name on Facebook, and there'll be at least 3 to 5 people coming out of the woodwork going, "That bitch."
I know.
So whatever.
We all have cycles, and this is her journey. And
yes.
Yeah. Not everybody goes the same way across the pond,
Yeah.
So at any rate, she did this really interesting study, I believe, about the type of snacks that you crave.
Yes.
Say something about the type of trauma that you experienced, right? And I took that one further, because you are what you eat, right?
Yes.
And your body stores what you eat in certain areas. And I started noticing that among the people that I knew, and during that time I was going to 12 steps, so you knew intimate things about people, right?
Yeah.
I would look around the room and I could go, yeah, they're carrying their weight in their upper third, big shoulders, big chest. Their heart was wounded. They're carrying their weight around their middle, that spare tire plus some.
Yeah.
Their creative center was injured. They're carrying their weight around their hips and their thighs. Their root center was injured.
Isn't
And
that
every
amazing?
single freaking time the theory panned out.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the number, because it just goes so hand in hand with what I was talking about. So the number two is, when you look at it, is about duality. It's about partnerships. It's about, and I'm going to say the duality starts within yourself. When we're conflicted, when we have an internal conflict, when we're going one, our head says one thing, the heart says another. To me, that's an internal conflict. When you have to do something, but your heart is telling you, don't do it, stay, right?
Yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't look at me.
When we are conflicted internally, then we come across, or we attract someone that's also conflicted. And so then how does that relationship even work when they're, both parties are conflicted, right? So that what happens is we project our own pain to the other person, and vice versa. Those relationships don't work, period, because they're both conflicted. So we need to find a balance. And it's what I see with the number 2 is like finding a balance, grounding yourself, right? With that number. That's what I see. Once you're balanced and grounded, then you can have a healthy relationship with another, and then you will attract a healthy relationship with another. Now, when we do that, when we balance and we ground ourselves, we come to that 22 master number, which is an amazing number, if you will. The 22 in Hebrew is considered like a cross. So the cross to me is like when we're sacrificing a part of ourselves, sometimes in vain and sometimes for love of another. But it is a sacrificial act that we're going through. Again, sometimes is valid, sometimes it's not. Sometimes we sacrifice ourselves for no good reason. But it is, the cross is also considered pain. So it is through pain that we ascend to love, not through pleasure. It is through pain that we ascend to that love level. Also, the cross helps you be cross that bridge, so to speak, to the crown, right? So it's going from a cross to a crown, right? And if you think of Jesus and the sacrifice, right? He had a cross of, what was it?
Thorns.
Yeah,
Thorns.
thank you. Nonetheless, it was a crown, right?
Yeah.
So through his pain, he ascended through that to that crown. So the pain can actually achieve victory. You can achieve victory through pain. So whether it's your own pain, so like I was saying before, it's like, okay, we got to go through the process of healing, because that pain, those wounds that we don't want to look at, or we don't want to go into that tunnel, it's where the gift is, because that will become a part of our purpose. That's when we'll find the different arts of healing that we can use to help others. So the 22 represents the thorn, the crown of the thorns, which is pain, but it also brings you into this beautiful victory of achieving and becoming, going from the wounded to the healer. So they go hand in hand, I feel, today.
Interesting. Very cool. Joanne mentioned, and I'm going to put this pop-up here. Healing, wrong one. Sorry, my bad. This one, the 29th, an 11 master number. And in a second, I want you to talk about that as well, Damaris. But I want to also point out that when we're calculating, at least for the purposes of this show, when we're calculating what the number of the day is, we take in 3, 2, 9, 2, 0, 2, 2. Right. So that comes out to a straight 2, right? It's not the master number 11 reducing down to 2. But for today alone, just the 29, it is the master number. So I want you to add a little bit more.
So the master number, the 11, and I always say, I'm an 11 master number. My date of birth adds to 11. But I'm not always vibrating at that 11. When my energy goes down, when my vibration goes down, when I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders, which happens sometimes, I lower my vibration to the 2. Sometimes, and I'll give you this. Sometimes I'll have a client and their energy that we're working with is very heavy. When that client leaves, I have absorbed it, because I become empathetic instead of compassionate. I feel that when I become empathetic, I take it on. And then I have to sort of like now work through clearing this out of my system so that I can vibrate higher again. So we go up and down in vibration, the 2, the 11, the 2, the 11. Right now I'm in 11 because I'm talking about, I'm teaching, so to speak, right? But if I get into an argument with my husband, guess what? I drop back to the 2. So it's a constant struggle, I say. The 11 master number, more is expected of the 11 master number than of the 2. We're teachers. We should be on the limelight. We should take center stage, when we're doing things. That's the 11 master number. And so but it's, for me anyway, I don't know for Krista, because you're an 11 as well. For me, it's a constant struggle.
No, I'm the same. Yep. And I experience, just like you do, if I'm working with a client from the empath level, from the empath side of it, I though have learned that if I wear certain crystals, and if I know that that's what I'm walking into, I can be prepared.
Sometimes you don't, though.
But yes, and then you're broadsided.
Yes.
And it feels like a bat has just come and gone whack.
And you know what that teaches me too? Sometimes when I'm dealing with a client that has a lot of heavy stuff, density, because that's the life that they came into for whatever reason, I feel like I should not bitch and moan about anything. Because seriously, you know what I mean? Some people have it really bad.
Oh, Facebook user. I don't know what your name is, but that is exactly it. Yes, this is what's happening. And your antennas are getting overloaded. That's why the bottom of your skull, your neck, and your shoulders are constricting in.
Yeah. When you start wearing your shoulders like earrings, nothing like you have no neck. Yeah. Roll them back and drop them.
I was reading this absolutely fascinating article today about dark empaths. Okay. And in trying to study dark empaths, which are like the most dangerous type of people on the planet, because not only are they narcissists, but they also have the ability to be empaths, which allows them to get closer to you and do more damage.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was actually, they didn't call them that in the article I was reading. I'm sorry. I have a hair.
No, go ahead.
It keeps getting in my eye. But I forget what they called them, but I was reading about them as well. And I'm like, oh,
that's scary. Really?
Oh, because it is, it's very vampiric.
Yeah.
Vampiric.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what it is too? If we're like, open-hearted, we welcome everybody, and then we become a victim of these, these people, if you will, so we have to be very careful.
Yeah, absolutely. So what they determined, though, in studying these dark empaths is that there's a couple of different ways that you can be empathic. One being cognitive, like you can totally understand and get how that person's feeling. And the other one being affective, which is the battle between, I feel what you're feeling. And sometimes I don't realize that it's yours and I think it's mine. And that can be very, very confusing. And dark empaths often have a blend, which I thought was very interesting. Right?
Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Adam's joining us from the UK, and he's like, that flip-flop between the 2 and the 11 could be so difficult.
It's especially with everything that's going on in the world, you can be happy-go-lucky, watch a newscast or something, and you're like, it drops, it's like, it's very difficult to keep it high with, everything that's going on and things like that. So me, for myself, I try to do affirmations and sort of like I use essential oils. I have crystals as well. And I change my vibration. I have sage, and I change it, but it's a struggle.
When I become aware of it, I go right for the old, consciousness, access consciousness thing. Anything that's not here for me or my highest good, get the fuck out. Your work here is done.
I like that.
You're needed somewhere else.
Yeah.
Thank you for your help. Thank you for your contribution.
I love that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to have to use that.
I'm going to take that too. I'm going to take that.
It really does help a lot.
Does she, Krista? Does she come across that way?
Tracy?
No. Not that she's come across as a dark empath. That she's come across dark empaths.
Oh, I thought she meant.
She's come across them. I mean, we all have.
Yeah.
I thought she was saying that she herself sometimes can come.
No, she can just be a bitch. I mean, that's totally different, right?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, Tracy. I'm not calling you.
It is what it is, right?
It is. I'm like. But you know what? I'm sure she can say, oh, you need to meet Krista in the morning. She's a real bitch because she's too damn perky.
But that means in the morning you're a 2, Krista.
I'm a morning person, so I get really excited. See, she's like, that's totally true. She can be a bitch. I'm telling you. I speak the truth. But yeah, no.
Even if it hurts.
Oh, we're hearing from the peanut gallery now.
She is a boss bitch. She really is. She's good. She's really good.
Oh, wow.
This is a really good point, Tracy. I think that it's empowering for every woman to take back that word, bitch, and really own it. I mean, I forgive me, but I graduated last week into vindictive cunt. So a bitch is nothing. Bitch is training wheels for me.
Okay.
And I believe her. That's the worst part.
Self-titled. I'm like, that's me.
So take ownership of it. No, I totally get it.
That's the point, right? And we're not, breeding animals in heat.
Wow.
We're not any of that stuff, right?
No.
We are bold, wise women. And if the word wise women is witch in Old English, right?
Yeah.
Then a bold, wise woman is a bitch.
There you go.
And really, sometimes we have to unleash it. You know, sometimes we have to unleash it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And you can be kind, and you can turn on bitch. I mean, I have that mode. People don't like it because they get. I guess because I come off all sparkly and happy and everything. When the bitch mode does open, they're like, "Oh, woe the boat!
Yeah,
the world has just stopped."
Well,
poor Adam. It's a little different when somebody calls a guy a bitch. I'm sorry, it's slightly different.
Yeah, no, different. Yeah, that is different. You know, but you know what? Own your bitchiness too, Adam. Own it.
Right? Exactly. I mean, you can pull out the bitch when you need to as well, Adam. Yeah. Absolutely. In the bold, wise person type of way. Oh, Allison, I love that song. Meredith something, and the song's called Bitch. I get into that. Was one of my release it dancing songs.
Oh my God, Gayle.
anyways, and then this, look, Tracy, in this particular case, I was the karma. Okay. All right, we're going to leave it at that, and we are going to move along into Krista's beautiful new segment. But wait, first, before we do that,
our very own commercial. I love it.
Oh my gosh, that is super cool.
It's not quite finished yet. I forgot to put the last screen of @DGK3 Crones on Venmo. That's how you can pay for anything that you buy from us. Thank you, Krista.
And so you can see
beautiful.
Mine is downstairs.
Here, I have the sample of all of them. This is our first sample pack, or our first pack.
Yep.
And I'm going to be working on that as well, getting us some other ones as well as the static clings and everything.
Now I'm into a new phase of, I don't want to use the stickers. In the holographic one, I only have one, and when I stick it on something, I won't have any more.
I love that one too. That's my favorite.
Okay, I'm getting more of the holographic ones. All right, guys. I love that. I am. I'm on it. I'm on it.
My favorite.
All right. Well, in the meantime, let's talk about this crazy crystal how do you even pronounce this?
Okay, we're going to give it a go here. It's one that I just learned about. So it's Molybdenite is how I think it is said. Okay. And I just need to share with you, first and foremost, this is a news flash. Should you run across it at a show, and it is hard to find, but should you run across it at a show and should you touch it, please, 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 please make sure you wash your hands. Highly, highly, highly toxic. All right.
And this is what it looks like for when you run across it.
Yes.
But why would we own it then if it's toxic?
Oh, because, all right, you're going to want to know why you're going to own it here in a second. And it fits exactly with Shinron energy, because it's a cleaner and a balancer. And when I say it's a cleaner, so part of what makes it toxic is the fact that it has sulfur.
Okay.
The other aspect that makes it toxic, is it's a metal. So, but it's a very thin metal, and it's a bluish gray. It has that luster to it, and it can be confused as graphite.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. But they use it. Here's the funny part. I'll go into why it's a cleanser in a second, but this is part that cracked me up. So on the Mohs scale, it is a 1 to a 1.5 hardness. In other words,
talcum.
There, yeah, I know. It's like talc is higher.
Wow.
I mean, it is like so super soft, and it will just like, yeah. However, they use it in stainless steel to make it as a hardener.
Isn't that
so? Yeah, and you're like saying, Krista, but you said that it's toxic. I said it's toxic because it's a metal. That's the toxicity of it.
Why
So
would I want to own it, Krista?
Well, I would want, okay, so this is why you want to have it. And I would actually, I can see using it in doing a crystal healing, because it aligns, it doesn't just align your chakras. The best way to explain it is it goes in and it like supersonic cleans your chakras. Now, when I was reading about this crystal, I've never ever heard, well, actually, I've never heard of it, but I think I've seen it at a crystal show. And it was a little bit dear. And because I wasn't familiar with it, I just walked away.
Yeah.
Now I might actually look for a piece because it's that cleaner. It's like, if you guys are familiar with your Akashic record,
of course.
Like,
yeah.
And then so I had a young lady who she and I went through actually access bars together, and she was somebody who did chakra Akashic readings, and she would go into your chakra and clean and clear the entire thing out. And when I was reading about this, that's kind of what I heard. I mean, the way she explained what she did and the way I read this crystal, it's like it goes in and it like vacuum cleans and dust.
I wish I would have known
clears it all out
years ago.
Right?
Yeah. And so, and then what it does is when you get it all cleared out, it opens up space. Yeah. So as awesome as having open space is when you're doing energy work, it really can be dangerous as well.
Absolutely.
Because then it's like an invitation for anything to come in.
Absolutely.
So if you're working, you say, hey, I love what Krista said. I have a crystal shop right down the road, and I'm going to go and see if they have one of these bad boys. Just make sure before you eat that you wash your hands. That's all. Okay, just don't put it in water. If you touch it, wash your hands. That's my thing. Because sorry, Celine Javor. Kevin just walked in.
Hi, Kevin.
Tell him to say hi.
You need to come over and say hi. Everyone wants you to come say hi. He's like, okay, he's coming over. But yeah, here he is.
Our woo-woo paladin.
How you doing?
Good. Isn't he so handsome?
He is. You guys are so cute together.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We think
happy anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Yeah.
What?
She makes me look good.
Oh, well,
All day.
What can I say? What can I say? Krista does that for us too.
She does.
You guys are all so sweet. Thank you. My cheeks are getting flushed.
Awesome.
And you're a good sport, Kevin.
We're still on. You're talking to everybody.
Yeah. You're worldwide now. You famous.
So say hi, world.
I wasn't sure what
Yeah. He's like, oh, I see what time it is now.
Well, it's good to see you.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
So yeah, so if you guys decide that this is something that you want to have and you're going to just go off and you're going to use it, and you have that space that you create and you'll feel really light, what I encourage you to do is visualize a ball of light, right? It's one of the things I teach people to make. We make chi balls, energy balls, and visualize this ball of light and put it in that space. You can put color into it. Like you can put pink into it for love. You can put green into it for healing. You can mix lots and lots of colors and just kind of visualize it going in and pushing it into those spaces that are feeling really light so that it fills those spots, you know, that crystal went in and dusted, cleaned, vacuumed, scrubbed down, and everything else.
Nice.
And in order to add on some healing.
I like
because yeah.
In one of the articles that I was reading about it yesterday, because it's really new as crystals go. And you know, there's only limited information. One of the things that I found fascinating is that it's used kind of as a lube.
I read that too today.
It's so
and
fine that it can be used to lubricate things.
Gears.
Yeah,
it's used for gear lubricate, and so it has, well, like we just discussed, talc. Right. And so, and I mean, the other aspect I found absolutely, you know, hysterical was the fact that they use it to harden stainless steel.
But you know what? That also kind of makes sense to me after living in the desert, because the dirt there it's not sand, but it is so fine that it's like sand, right? So when the water comes through it and then dries out, it becomes very, very hard. It doesn't like collapse again like sand does. It becomes concrete-ish, which is why there's very few basements in southern Arizona, because it just costs too much to dig 10 feet down into the soil.
But
so
I like it, Krista.
Excellent. You can find that crystal, by the way, in New Mexico and in parts of Colorado. And it actually, I think it might be, it is hard to find, like we were both just discussing, Gayle and I, but it is, I think it's definitely, I would only probably use it if you were more advanced with your own journey. This is not
Tracy was asking this, and I want to throw it to you. Because my gut is like, no, you don't have to touch it.
No, you don't have to touch it. As a matter of fact, so if I were to use it, I mean, I would, and if it's on its matrix, it depends what the matrix is of it, but it's usually on quartz is the matrix. So I'd I'd use the matrix and I'd like put it at the foot, or I'd put it at the crown, you know, near but not on. If I was doing a crystal healing, I wouldn't put it directly on my body, nor would I put it directly on a client's body. But that's how I would use it.
Makes good sense. Awesome stuff. Thanks, Krista. All righty. So let's take a look at today's card of the day from Galaxy Tarot, which is the app that I use for the card of the day stuff. Let me get my little cheat sheet out here. And it is about the world. Endings, beginnings, completing cycles, starting new ones, finding balance between the old and the new, and you know, all of that. Absolutely. Second, I'm like lost here. There we go. All right. So today's message is today, consider how wonderfully complete you are, right? You are unique, an amazing person. Everything that's happened to you has made you who you are today, even the hard stuff, even feeling the hard stuff. Yeah. All right. Especially the hard stuff. Find some time today to reflect on your story so far and what an incredible adventure that it's been. And then get ready for the next chapter. It's waiting for you. So, I mean, this just leads right back into what Damaris was talking about with Chiron the healer and taking stock of, okay, I went through these horrible things. What can I use to fertilize the rose bush of my life with it?
I love that.
You know?
Love that.
I don't know if I ever told you guys that story that I told. At any rate, Let me know in the comments if you want to hear about the rose bush story.
I want to hear about the rose.
Okay. Okay, good. So at any rate, but taking stock of what all of these experiences, as painful as they may have been, can teach us, and carrying that into what's happening next, because this is a whole new adventure. The world is literally changing all around us. You know, and it's amazing stuff. So yeah, today is a world day. Integration, completion, options, wholeness, grounding to the earth, connection, the number 2, the root, grounding, connection, balance, the whole 9 yards.
I love it.
And if you can, even if you can take one of the pictures, in fact, I'll post a couple of the pictures that I used for that little video. If you can use those pictures of crystals to substitute in place of crystals that you cannot find for yourself or may not want to put the money out for, because the samples that I was looking at were around $800.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they aren't, it's not an inexpensive thing.
So what is compatible? What stones?
Well, I'm just saying, use the pictures that we have. I mean, you can Google
okay, I see what you're saying.
it and so on. The energy.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, and I imagine from hearing Krista talk about it, it is such a powerful healer that it will work that way as well.
Absolutely. Oh, definitely. Especially if you set the intention. You can do that with any crystal. Use a photo. So you don't have to invest in it. So
yes, absolutely. That's why our subconscious, our underconscious, if you will, works on images and emotions rather than, you know, words and feelings. We don't actually have to feel with our sensory pads to feel the way that the subconscious likes to work.
I add something really, really quick. The world card, when I see the world card, I always think of the hangman too, because either you can stay hanging there, you know, and not move forward, or that you're hanging because you're going through a process of a spiritual rebirth. And so I always see it that way. We either stay hanging there on that cross, or we get off the cross and then we help others.
Interesting stuff. All right. Yeah, well, it makes sense. You know, you can be at the end of a phase and on the precipice of a new phase and go, wait a minute, I don't think I'm ready for that. And that's definitely hangman energy.
Yeah.
All right. So this week, let's talk about creating with clarity and direction. Now, all of these things that we've talked about today, as always, just kind of blend in together like a Jenga game before we start playing, right? They're just all little pieces going in different ways, holding the whole thing up, holding it solid, right? And this is really about clarity and direction, right? Because when you are in that 2, right, the balance, the partnership, the rootedness, even in the 11, the teacher, the compassionate leader, right, of whatever community that you're a part of, using what there is from your past that you've learned from in order to step into the future with that clarity and direction, cleaning out energetically all of those pieces of gunk, you know, like energetic gunk that we're carrying along with from other people, right? And we were talking about dark empaths, right? When we come into contact with people, we pick up part of their soul, they're part of their spirit, right? 100%. And we may not necessarily want to be carrying that, right? So that molybdenite definitely will help clear that out of the way. And then, of course, you can always go back to that that basic access consciousness. If you're not here for me, get out. You know, the shortest, most polite way that I can put it. If you're not here for me, get out.
Yeah.
Done.
100%.
Thanks for your help. Thanks for your service. Be gone. Right. So all of that, working all of that together for this next week ahead. What is it that you want to create? We got a new moon in Aries coming up on Thursday, right? Yep. What is it that you want to create? And if you guys want a cheat sheet on how to create for the new moon,
Oh yeah.
Put a comment in there for me. Because we will be building the MailChimp list. So if you want to be part of the newsletter, Damaris is heading up the newsletter division. And so we need people to send her stuff to. So
yeah,
I'm thinking about putting together like a little cheat sheet on how to make really powerful new moon manifestations, and calling in what it is that aligns with you, not just what society says you're supposed to want.
I love that. Yes.
And we all, and each of us, because we all do things differently for our new moon rituals, it would definitely benefit you guys, because you get I don't want to say three different versions, but you get those three options.
Yeah.
And you can see how we all look at all these.
I know, right? They're waiting for us to get our butts in gear here. I love you people.
We're trying.
We're doing. If we could just stay in one spot long enough.
I know you guys.
If things just could just keep moving, I know. I got it.
Absolutely. So yes, we will definitely put that together for you and have you a landing page to sign up for. And we should probably throw out there, if you guys can come up with any really cool, sexy, catchy names for the newsletter,
yes.
So
that would be really fun.
Yeah,
we should make a contest around that.
That would be really fun to do.
Name the newsletter.
Yeah, I love that.
Name the newsletter. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So you'll definitely want to get on the list then, because the first newsletter is going to go out as the No Name Woo Woo. And that will be a collector's item someday, I promise.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that would be great if they could help us come up with a name.
Yeah.
I would love that. Yeah, definitely.
And it's got to be sexy, and it's got to be something that makes you go, ooh, woo.
Ooh. Something sexy, sassy, and definitely, enticing.
Yes, exactly. All right, so let's take a moment to say congratulations to this week's winner.
Yes.
It's not showing. There we go. Congratulations, Miss Ada Diaz-Bella. I'm so glad you were watching the show today too. Congratulations. Awesome. Happy that you are the winner again. I know that you know how this goes, because I think you've read with all of us at this point.
Yeah.
So fabulous. You can always bank a reading. Because it's good to get a refresher reading like every 3 months or so. You can also give away one of your readings. Just be in communication with us. Or if you want to take another reading right now, you know how this works. You reach out to Krista or Damaris or myself, and you say, hey, when can I get on your schedule? I pick you. And then we get you on the schedule and we do the reading that you choose. Now, for me, you have the option of an intuitive tarot reading or an EFT tapping session. In Krista's case, you have the option of a crystal reading, which are pretty intensive and really, really awesome. Okay. And then I just love how my voice changes there. Oh my gosh. And then Damaris as well. Her readings are also as awesome, but they don't use rocks. So numerology or astrology or intuitive tarot as well, like myself. So you get to pick. This life is according to your choices, whatever it is that you want to do. So congratulations again.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, do you have any other things to say? What did you think about our titles so far?
Love those. I love the titles. And then I do have something to say. Yes, we all give away a reading with us, but you can also book a reading with us. And I'm just doing that for clarification, because I already have had that question. And yes, I know I don't have my times and what I do necessarily on Facebook. Just message me directly, because part of what the problem is I can't get it to communicate in the right time zones. So If you're booking something for, 7 p.m., it's 1 a.m. my time.
Yeah.
It just isn't going to work. But yeah, so, but we are doing, or we each do that as well. And so yeah, just know that
Thank
that's an
you.
option.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah,
I just also want to
absolutely.
say that I want to leave everybody with, are they hanging on a cross, or are they wearing the crown of achievement? Meaning they have overcome, a lot of their, woundings, if you will.
Yeah.
So, or are they still hanging on that cross?
Yeah.
I'm going to use one of my favorite expressions. Get off the cross. We need the wood.
I love that one.
What?
Get off the cross. We need the wood.
We need the wood.
I love it. I love it.
That is old school. I absolutely adore it.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we want to say a quick thank you to all of our supporters and contributors. And why isn't this showing unless I all of us here at Three Crones in the Woo Woo. Thank you so much for joining us today. Give us some feedback about these titles. They're all going to be different next week. Who am I kidding?
Don't forget to share names for our newsletter.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yes. Great question.
Now, excellent question. How do we get in line for a chance to win a reading? All you have to do is like this broadcast, comment on this broadcast, and share this broadcast. Now, you can share it out from Facebook or YouTube, whichever you're watching on. And among the shares that week, I will pick one person that will win the weekly giveaway. All right. Thank you so much for asking that, Sue. So yeah, that's all you got to do is like, comment, and share. Anything else before we head out this week?
That's it. I think we're good.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Congratulations to Ada.